मैं हाँ भलिंदर सिंह विरमानी ते तुसीं वेख रहे हो साडी खास पेशकश। जी हाँ, कैनेडा के खजाना मंत्री बिल मॉर्न्यू वालों हाउस ऑफ कॉमन्स विच अपना तीजा बजट पेश कर दिता गया। की कुछ खास रहा इस बजट विच अते फिर विरोधियों को किन्ना कु पसंद आया यह बजट, इसे तरह की साडी खास नज़र। ताओ फिर आगाज करते हैं बजट 2018 की। कैनेडा के खजाना मंत्री बिल मॉर्न्यू वालों हाउस ऑफ कॉमन्स विच अपना तीजा बजट पेश किया गया। इस वादा बजट टाइटल से इक्वालिटी ग्रोथ। वित्त मंत्री बिल मॉर्न्यू ने बजट पेश करने तो पहला उन्होंने वालों हुण तक पेश किए गए दो बजट के नाल कैनेडा के लोगों को होए फायदों का वेरवा दिता।
Budget 2018 is also a plan that respects the choice that Canadians made just a little over 2 years ago. At that time, Canadians had the opportunity to stay the course. They could stick with a government that favored cuts and a set of failed policies that produced stubborn unemployment and the worst decade of economic growth since the Great Depression. Or they could choose a more ambitious and confident approach. Canadians chose the latter. They put their trust Mr. Speaker, in a new government because they knew that we put our trust in them. We took that trust, balanced it with sound fiscal management that includes a declining debt to GDP ratio and gave Canadians the tools they need. To help Canadians feel more confident about their future, we strengthened the Canada Pension Plan to help workers today and for generations to come. Thanks to the trust that Canadians placed in us, we're able to help 900,000 seniors through increases to the Guaranteed Income Supplement. We helped students get ahead with increases to Canada's student grants. We cut taxes for small businesses while making sure that the wealthiest pay their fair share. We're helping more people find a safe and affordable place to call home with the first ever national housing strategy. And we're working with provinces, territories, and cities to ensure a stable housing market. We're giving more children the best possible start in life through investments in early learning and childcare. We now have agreements in place with 9 provinces and territories to help create more of the high-quality, affordable childcare spaces we know that Canadian families need, tailored to their local realities. And think about the fact that the vast majority of single moms receiving the Canada Child Benefit make less than $60,000 a year and now get an average of about $9,000 in total benefits tax-free each year.
इस बार खजाना मंत्री बिल मॉर्न्यू वालों $18.1 बिलियन घाटे का बजट पेश किया गया है। जी हाँ, बिल मॉर्न्यू ने कहा कि हर किसी को कैनेडा की तरक्की लिए अपना फेयर शेयर पाना चाहिए, जिसलिए कैनेडा रेवेन्यू एजेंसी को फंडिंग दी गई है और नाल ही छोटे कारोबार से टैक्स कटिया गया ताकि हर कोई अपना फेयर शेयर पा सके।
We're making additional investments in our ambitious innovation and skills plan, including targeted help for women in the trades like Joan and for newcomer women looking to find meaningful work. And we're also taking steps to ensure that our tax system is fair for all Canadians. We can't have an economy that works for everyone if everyone doesn't pay their fair share. That's why we've given the Canada Revenue Agency $1 billion in our first budgets to crack down on tax cheats and offshore tax havens. And with every dollar we invest, we expect $5 in recovered revenue. It's about fairness, Mr. Speaker. We're also making sure that the small business tax rate, on track to fall to 9%, the lowest among G7 countries, is available only to small businesses who want to invest, grow, and create more jobs.
औरतों को अगे लियाउण लई अते फिर उत्साहित करने लई 5 साल का पायलट प्रोजेक्ट भी ऐलानिया गया है। इस तो इलावा लिंग असमानता को वधाउण लई $1.8 मिलियन खर्चे जाणगे। औरतों को खेडां वल उत्साहित करने लई भी खास निवेश का ऐलान किया गया।
For as much progress as we've seen, there continue to be persistent barriers that hold too many women back. A few weeks ago, the Prime Minister issued a challenge to the world's business leaders to hire, promote, and retain more women. As he said, it's not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. We just need to do the math. On average, women earn just 69 cents for every dollar earned by men, even though about 3/4 of young women have a post-secondary certificate or degree. Even women who graduate from high-demand fields like science, technology, engineering, and math earn about $9,000 less per year than their male peers. It's an important issue, Mr. Speaker, that we need to get at. It's not right, and it's not smart either. We know that diversity in the workforce boosts productivity and profitability, and studies have shown that increasing gender diversity alone leads to more growth. According to the Centre for International Governance Innovation, a 1% increase in gender diversity means about a 3.5% bump in revenue for those companies that actively seek to hire more women. And results are even better when women are in leadership positions. When women hold leadership positions, companies see stronger financial results. They see more innovation and more effective decision-making at the board.
तो इस बजट विच कम दौरान जिनसी हमले का शिकार हुए पीड़ितां का भी खास तौर पर ध्यान रखा गया और उन्हां लई भी फंडिंग का ऐलान किया गया। $8 मिलियन की यह फंडिंग मी टू और टाइम अप वर्गे मूवमेंट्स लई है तां जो इस राही पीड़ितां की मदद की जा सके।
Finally, Mr. Speaker, we know that we can't push for equality without confronting some difficult truths. Movements like Me Too and Time's Up have shed light on disturbing situations and behaviors that too often go unreported. So to better support those who've been victims of sexual harassment in the workplace, we'll boost legal aid funding across the country so that victims we want to make sure that victims can better understand their rights and get the help they need. I'd like to add, Mr. Speaker, that the work that we're doing to increase the participation of women in our economy and our society can be seen across our entire budget. No budget decision was taken without being informed by what we call gender-based analysis plus. I want to thank the Minister for the Status of Women for her help in making this possible. Now, we firmly believe that this must not be a one-time event. It must be how all future budgets are made. So we'll be seeking to introduce new legislation to make this a permanent part of the federal budget-making process. And we're going to make Status of Women a full department in the Government of Canada.
इस अलावा इस बजट विच एक अहम ऐलान चाइल्ड केयर संबंधी भी किया गया। बिल मॉर्नियो वालों अगले 5 साल विच न्यू फादर्स लई मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस बेनिफिट्स से नाल 5 हफ्तियां दी छुट्टी भी ऐलानी गई है।
Second, we need to recognize that some of this gap is due to the fact that childcare and caregiving duties in general fall disproportionately on women. In this budget, we're offering a use it or lose it incentive to encourage both parents in a two-parent family to share equally in the work of raising their children. With the EI parental sharing benefit, two-parent families who agree to share parental leave could receive an additional 5 weeks of leave, making it easier for women to return to work sooner if they so choose. And when that precious time runs out, we know that families need greater access to quality childcare, affordable childcare, which is why we've already invested more than $7.5 billion in early learning and childcare, which will create up to 40,000 new subsidized spaces over the next 3 years while making existing spaces more affordable.
बजट विच नैशनल फार्मा केयर प्लान वाल भी कदम वधाए गए ने। अजिहा करके लिबरल सरकार एनडीपी आगू जगमीत सिंह वालों फार्मा केयर प्लान नूं अपनी मुख तरजीह दस्सण दी योजना तो पहला ही अपनी रणनीति लिया के साल 2019 दीआं चोणां विच बाजी अपने ना करन दी भी तैयारी कर रही है। साबका ओंटारियो हेल्थ मंत्री एरिक हॉस्किंस इस फार्मा केयर प्लान नूं तैयार करन विच मुख भूमिका निभाउणगे।
Today, at least 1 in 10 Canadians cannot afford the prescription drugs that they need. And every year, over 1 million Canadians are forced to give up food and heat in order to afford their medicines. To address this, we've created an advisory council on the implementation of national pharmacare, to be headed by Dr. Eric Hoskins, with a mandate. His team will have a mandate to study, evaluate, and ultimately recommend options on a path forward on pharmacare that puts Canadians first.
इस ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਯੰਗ ਸਾਇੰਟਿਸਟ ਅਤੇ ਰਿਸਰਚਰਸ ਲਈ ਅਗਲੇ 5 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਿਵੇਸ਼ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਰਿਸਰਚਰਸ ਲਈ 1.7 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਡਾਲਰ ਖਰਚੇ ਜਾਣਗੇ, ਜਦਕਿ ਲੈਬਸ, ਇਕਵਿਪਮੈਂਟਸ ਅਤੇ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟ੍ਰਕਚਰ ਲਈ 1.3 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਡਾਲਰ ਰੱਖੇ ਗਏ ਨੇ।
To foster that spirit of innovation and help build the new industries and jobs that our economy will rely on in future years, we'll make significant new investments in Canada's scientists and researchers to make sure that they have the funding and the support required to do their work. The Fundamental Science Review, led by Dr. David Naylor and engineered by our Minister of Science, told us that to advance Canadian businesses and Canada's long-term competitiveness, we need to invest in the people behind the big new ideas. Well, that's exactly what we're doing in this budget, Mr. Speaker. Budget 2018 represents the single largest investment in fundamental and discovery research in Canadian history. But more than that, we'll make sure that the new money for research supports the next generation of researchers so that we can build a science community that looks more like Canada, more diverse, with a greater number of women.
ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਰੁਕਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਪਰ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਇसी ਬਜਟ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਿ ਵਿਰੋਧੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਇਹ ਰਾਸ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਬਜਟ। ਇਸ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆਏਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ। ਛੇਤੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ। ब्रेक तो बाद एक वाफे थोड़ा स्वागत है। कैनेडा के खजाना मंत्री बिल मॉर्नियो वालों हाउस ऑफ कॉमन्स विच अपना तीजा बजट पेश कर दिता गया। फिर इस बार के बजट विच साइबर सिक्योरिटी नूं बेहतर करने लई अगले 5 सालों में तकरीबन 750 मिलियन डॉलर्स खर्चण की गल भी कही गई है, जबकि इस तो इलावा ओपियोइड क्राइसिस नाल नजिठण लई भी अहम ऐलान किए गए हैं।
Safeguard Canadians' privacy and protect both our digital economy and our country, we're making an over $750 million investment in cybersecurity in this country. To help families and communities being devastated by the opioid crisis, we'll make investments of $230 million, including to provide additional emergency funding for provinces and territories so people can access evidence-based treatment services and get the help that they need.
360 ਪੰਨਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਬਜਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਅਹਿਮ ਵੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਫਰਸਟ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਅਤੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਲਈ 1.4 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਡਾਲਰ ਖਰਚਣ ਦਾ ਐਲਾਨ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸਾਫ਼ ਪਾਣੀ ਮੁਹੱਈਆ ਕਰਵਾਉਣ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਖਾਸ ਤਵੱਜੋ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ।
New investments that will accelerate work to deliver clean, safe drinking water to more Indigenous communities ahead of schedule. We've already lifted 52 long-term boil water advisories, and Mr. Speaker, we're on track to have all others eliminated by March 2021. We're making investments that will help create better opportunities for Indigenous peoples to find and keep good, well-paying jobs, that will build more safe and affordable housing in First Nations, Inuit, and Métis Nations communities, and that will give better child and family service support with a special focus on prevention so that Indigenous children are not taken from their families and their communities. To further the important work of reconciliation, we're also investing in the Gord Downey and Shawnee Wenjack Fund to promote cross-cultural dialogue, create places and spaces dedicated to reconciliation, so that more Canadians can be part of building a new and better relation with Indigenous peoples.
खजाना मंत्री बिल मॉर्न्यू ने कहा कि यह बजट कैनेडा के लोगों ਲਈ है। ਇਸ ਲਈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਅਹਿਮ ਤੋਹਫਾ ਦਿੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਪਾਰਕਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਐਂਟਰੀ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਲਾਈਫ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਅਹਿਮ ਕਦਮ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ।
When we encouraged Canadians to visit our national parks last year, they responded by the millions. Some parks were so busy that they had to turn people away. We saw how popular our free admissions program was, and that's why we decided to make Canada's national parks permanently free. Mr. Speaker, unlike past governments, we know that Canadians deserve more than just good enough when it comes to protecting the land that we love. And so we're helping to deliver one of the largest commitments to conservation in Canada's history, with an investment of $1.3 billion to conserve more land and waters, preserve biodiversity, and protect wildlife in our country.
बजट पेश कर दिता गया है। जेकर विरोधियों की गल की जाए तो NDP आगू जगमीत सिंह वालों बजट 2018 में कई ऐलानों का स्वागत किया गया है, जिमें वध तो वध औरतों को अगे लिया, पर दूजे पासे फार्मा केयर संबंधी ऐलानों उन्होंने वालों एक फैंटसी दसिया गया। नाल ही उन्होंने कहा कि सरकार ने अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग संबंधी कोई अहम ऐलान नहीं किए।
While I'm encouraged by today's announcement around pay equity, I think that's something a long time coming, and we've fought very hard on pushing forward for pay equity. We've not seen any funding associated with pay equity, with the implementation of it, which is very concerning and very problematic. I'm also encouraged by some of the implementation of encouraging women in the workforce. That's positive. But again, I'm concerned about the appropriate funding allocated to that. But what we see in this budget is that it completely lacks any concrete measures to combat income inequality. My finance critic and I talked about some of the important measures that we need to take. Closing tax loopholes, addressing the problem of offshore tax havens as a way to generate revenue to then implement programs like pharmacare. And on pharmacare, what the government's proposing is not a plan. This is a fantasy. We don't see even a single dollar of investment in a plan to implement pharmacare. At a time when we know, just last month, UBC released a report that 1.6 million Canadians currently are either skipping dosages or not taking the medication they need. Seniors are cutting their pills in half. This is a vitally important step for us to take and something we pushed for, but this government is just announcing a study, and a study that has no funding behind it. That's completely unacceptable. We need courage. We need a government to have courage to take the actions needed to address income inequality and to lift people up with programs like pharmacare. And finally, with affordable housing. Affordable housing is a crisis, a national crisis right now. And this budget has $0 committed to addressing that housing crisis. And instead, we're not going to see any funding for the affordable housing that we need until 2 years.
इस तो अलावा कंजरवेटिव आगू एंड्रयू शीयर ने लिबरल पार्टी वालों पेश किए गए बजट से बोलते कहा कि प्रधानमंत्री जसटिन ट्रूडो ने कैनेडा के परिवारों के नाल किया गया अपना वादा पूरा नहीं किया। 18.1 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਘਾਟੇ ਦਾ ਬਜਟ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਸਾਲ 2015 ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਅਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਤੋੜ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਬਜਟ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਡੈਟ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਵਧਾਏਗਾ।
It's time to deliver. It's time to start showing some results. But here's the sad reality after 3 years of Justin Trudeau. Never has a politician boasted so loudly and spent so much to achieve so little. Justin Trudeau promised that he would only borrow $10 billion a year. This year's deficit is $18 billion. Justin Trudeau is failing to balance the budget by 2019 as he promised, ensuring that future generations of Canadians will have more and more debt to pay back. And finally, Justin Trudeau promised he would spend money on infrastructure that would grow the economy over the long term. But the reality is that infrastructure investments are actually being cut. Things like roads and bridges, ports and highways. These are the facts to remember when we hear.
तो दूसरे पासे ग्रीन पार्टी की आगू एलिजाबेथ मे ने साइंस और ट्रिब्यूनल ह्यूमन राइट्स संबंधी किए गए ऐलान का स्वागत किया। उत्थे ही उन्होंने कहा कि सरकार वालों वातावरण संबंधी कुछ खास ऐलान नहीं किए गए।
Previous budgets have not met the requirements of our Paris targets. We just had a leaked report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change that makes it clear that all governments around the world will need to do more. The window is rapidly closing on being able to meet the Paris target of 1.5 degrees. If anything, where this budget references climate, it references that we are weakening resolve in the section that deals with carbon pricing. I think it was page 151 if anyone wants to check. It talks about how the carbon pricing regime will be in place. Remember, it was promised for 2018. Will be.
तो इस बजट से होर गलबात लई साडे नाल जुड़े हुए ने साडे सहयोगी रुपिंदर कौर। रुपिंदर, तौर तो जानना चाहांगे कि विरोधियों का काम तो जो होंदा है विरोध करना, पर कुल मिला के जेकर माहरां दी वल नज़र आई है तो किस तरह नाल वेखिया जा रहा है इस पूरे बजट नूं?
जी बलंदर, पूरे बजट नूं वेखिए तो कह सकते हैं कि रेड इज गोइंग टू बी न्यू ऑरेंज। बजट डेफिसिट है, पर लिबरल्स वालों 2019 तक बजट नूं संतुलित करन दा जिहड़ा तहिया रटाया गया सी उस नूं पूरा करन लई फेडरल सरकार वालों इस बारी कोई कदम नहीं चुकिया गया। जिवें मैं क्या रेड इज गोइंग टू बी न्यू ऑरेंज, थोड़ा डिटेल में चाहिए तो एनटीपी लीडर जगमीत सिंह वालों टॉप प्रायोरिटी दस्सिया जा रहा सी अफोर्डेबल प्रिस्क्रिप्शन ड्रग्स ते कैनेडियंस दा यूनिवर्सल एक्सेस होना, जिसनूं बजट विच एड्रैस किया गया। फार्मा केयर प्लान के जरिए एडवाइजरी काउंसिल बनाई गई है जिसनूं डॉक्टर एरिक हॉस्किंस चेयर करनगे। फार्मा केयर वाल कदम वधाना लिबरल सरकार ने एनडीपी आगू जगमीत सिंह वालों जिहड़ा फार्मा केयर दा प्लान सीगा उसनूं बजट विच तरजीह दे दी है। तो कह सकते हैं कि 2019 दियां जिहड़ियां चोणां होनियां ने उस वाल तैयारी कर ली है। उधर
बिल्कुल 2019 की तैयारी तो हो गई है और संतुलित बजट भी मनाया जा रहा है, पर घाटे वाला बजट जरूर इस बार लिबरल सरकार वालों पेश किया गया। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया रुपिंदर इस पूरी जानकारी के लिए। सो बजट संबंधी खबरों में बास आई इस खास पेशकश नाल जुड़े रहने बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।